On this lesson, you will review a number of different types of paragraphs and study their important individual features. Because there are an infinite number of paragraphs, paragraphs can communicate an infinite number of ideas, although any single paragraph should communicate only one idea, of course. In this respect, as means of communicating ideas, paragraphs are, in effect, tools which writers use. We all know that using an appropriate tool for a job makes that job easier and the outcome more effective. Ever been camping, only to discover you left the can opener at home? Thus it is with paragraphs. When we try to communicate a specific idea, using an appropriate paragraph for the job ensures clear communication of that idea. So what kinds or types of paragraphs are we talking about here? Aren't all paragraphs simply collections of sentences? Well, yes, they are. They all have essentially the same structure. What differs is the purpose of each type of paragraph. Here are the basic types. Descriptive paragraphs, narrative paragraphs, expository paragraphs, persuasive paragraphs, literary paragraph. When considering the type of paragraph you are about to write, you need to consider a few different questions. What is the purpose of the paragraph? What are you trying to communicate to your reader? The answers to these questions will guide you as you consider both the content of your paragraph and the effect you are trying to achieve. There are many different types of paragraphs. Each type has a different purpose, and writers make use of different means in achieving each purpose. The following is a list of some of the paragraph types that you can use in your writing. First is narrative paragraph. Narrative paragraphs tell stories. They differ from short stories or novels in length as well as in the amount of detail provided. They sometimes are little more than brief vignettes. True narrative paragraphs, however, are similar to short stories in that they feature characters, follow a plot line, include a conflict which is resolved and are told from an identifiable point of view. They may also establish a setting or include a moral. The second one is descriptive paragraph. The purpose of a descriptive paragraph is to allow the reader to experience the item, phenomenon or event being described as vividly as possible without physically sensing it. That is, the reader cannot see it, but knows what it looks like, cannot taste it, but knows whether it is salty or sweet, cannot touch it, but knows its texture. Descriptive paragraphs typically include modifiers like adjectives, adverbs, prepositional phrases, and figurative language such as metaphors, personification, similes, to help enrich the experience for the reader. We have the third one, which is expository paragraph. An expository paragraph explains something. Its purpose is to help the reader understand. Exposition often includes techniques such as the use of examples or illustrations to support a point or the use of some kind of ordering, chronological or numerical, for example, to help a reader follow a process. Exposition needs to be clear. Language is often quite direct, although sometimes a writer may use language devices to help illustrate a point. Next is persuasive paragraph. The purpose of a persuasive paragraph is to convince the reader of something, such as the writer's position on a controversial topic or a proposal for a new project. The structure is often similar to that of an expository piece, as it is usually helpful to explain a little bit about the subject, but rhetorical devices are often employed to help sway the reader's opinion. The language can be highly charged. The intent is to get a reaction. And the last one we have, literary paragraph. Literary paragraphs are paragraphs written about literature. They are part of a genre known as literary criticism. This does not mean they are supposed to find fault with a piece of literature. Criticism, in this sense, is an analytical examination of a poem, story, novel, play, essay, or other literary work. The writer of a literary paragraph must choose a specific aspect of the text to examine and then focus on that aspect, always referring back to the literature. Literary paragraphs do not make references to real life. The protagonist may be just like the writer's great-aunt Gertrude, but this observation has no place in a literary paragraph. Quotations are often used to support the observations and evaluations made by the writer. The lights grow brighter as the earth lurches away from the sun, and now the orchestra is playing yellow cocktail music, and the opera of voices pitches a key higher. Laughter is easier minute by minute, spilled with prodigality, tipped out at a cheerful word. The groups change more swiftly, swell with new arrivals, dissolve and form in the same breath. Already there are wanderers, confident girls who weave here and there among the stouter and more stable, become from a sharp, joyous moment the center of a group, and then, excited with triumph, glide on through the sea change of faces and voices in color under the constantly changing light. This excerpt is taken from The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. In this paragraph you can hear, see, and feel the setting in which the story takes place. When you practice writing a descriptive paragraph yourself, you should address all aspects of the physical world. All toilet flush tanks work about the same. When the toilet is flushed, the trip handle lifts the tank ball, opening the outlet and letting water flow into the bowl. When the tank is nearly empty, the ball falls back in place over the outlet. The float falls with the water level, opening the water supply inlet valve just as the outlet is being closed, and the tank is refilled through the filler tube. Water also flows through the bowl refill tube into the overflow pipe to replenish trapped sealing water. As the water level in the tank nears the top of the overflow pipe, the float closes the inlet valve, completing the cycle. This paragraph from Reader's Digest Complete It Yourself manual gives detailed information about how the water moves through a toilet when it is flushed. It's instructive, and if you like this kind of thing, it may even be interesting. Immigration contributes to the overall health of the American economy. Despite recent concerns related to the costs created by illegal and some legal immigration to the United States, this country has largely benefited from the skills, talents, and ambition that immigrants bring with them. American businesses gain from a good source of affordable labor, while towns and cities are revitalized by immigrant families who strengthen communities through civic participation, the generation of new economic activity. The United States must continue to welcome new arrivals and help those who are already here. Otherwise, the country will lose the advantages it has over other industrialized countries who compete against us in the global marketplace and seek to recruit from a vast pool of unskilled and skilled global workers.